Topic natin ngayon ay tungkol sa General Power Rule for Integration. At ito yung General Power Rule for Integration. Integral of u to the n du equals u to the n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 plus c, where n is not equal to negative 1. So dito sa formula na ito, yung du ay derivative ng base na u. I repeat, yung du ay derivative ng base na u. Paano ba siya gamitin? Okay, so let us have example. Example number 1. Evaluate the integral, let's say for example, of x times 2x squared minus 1 raised to 10 dx. Integral of x times 2x squared minus 1 raised to 10 dx. So, ang una natin gagawin ay identify muna natin kung alin ba yung u to the n. No? So, yung u to the n natin ay yung 2x squared minus 1 raised to 10. Ano ba yung du natin? So, yung du natin ay yung x dx. At yung du ay derivative ng base na 2x squared minus 1. So, derivative ng 2x squared minus 1 ay 4x dx. So, meron tayong x dx, kaya it will lead to integral of u to the n du. So, this is also equal to the integral of 2x squared minus 1 raised to 10 times x dx. So dito, ang gagawin natin ay gagamit tayo ng substitution, no? So let u equals yung base, no? Yung u natin ay yung base, 2x squared minus 1. 2x squared minus 1. Kaya rin tayo noon, kukuha tayo ng derivative in differential form. Ang derivative ng x in differential form equals dx na to 1. Ang derivative ng y in differential form equals dy. Ang derivative ng u in differential form is du. Ang derivative ng t in differential form equals dt, and so on. No? Okay? So, kaya natin ngayon yung derivative of u equals 2x squared minus 1 in differential form. So, derivative of u in differential form is du. And then the derivative of 2x squared, so meron tayong 2, yung constant. And then the derivative of x squared in differential form is 2x by power rule times the derivative of x in differential form dx. And then the derivative of negative 1 is 0. So we'll have du equals 4x dx. Okay, so in the problem, we have this expression x dx. So let us solve that in terms of du. So we must multiply both sides by 1/4. So 1/4 du equals x dx. After that, we are going to write the problem in terms of u. So we have the integral sign. And then we have the base 2x squared minus 1. But 2x squared minus 1, we let that equal to u. And then it is raised to 10. Kaya we will have u raised to 10 times x dx. But you see, x dx equals 1/4 du. So times 1/4 du. Now, 1/4 is constant. We may place it before the integral sign. So, we will have 1/4 integral of u raised to 10 du. So we may now apply the formula integral of u to the n du equals u to the n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 plus c, where n is not equal to negative 1. So this is now equal to 1/4, and then u raised to 10 plus 1 is 11 over 11, and then plus c. After that, substitute back the value of u, 2x squared minus 1. So 1 times u raised to 11 equals u raised to 11. And u equals 2x squared minus 1. And then raised to 11. And then 4 times 11 is 44. And then plus c. And then this is now the answer. Okay, next, let us have another solution to the problem. Let us have a shortcut method to this problem. So we have integral of 2x squared minus 1 raised to 10 times x dx. So alam na natin na yung 2x squared minus 1 raised to 10, yun yung ating u raised to n. Ngayon, ano ba yung derivative ng 2x squared minus 1? So, ang derivative ng 2x squared minus 1, yung base natin, ay equal siya sa 4x. Kaya lang, ang meron lang tayo dito ay x. So, ang kompletong derivative ng 2x squared minus 1 ay 4x. So, kung may 4 dito, ay integrable na siya by power rule. Magiging integral na siya ng u raised to n du. So, dahil walang 4, ang gagawin natin ay magmumultiply tayo ng 4 sa given para makompleto yung derivative ng base na 2x squared minus 1. So this is also equal to 2x squared minus 1 raised to 10. So yung derivative ng 2x squared minus 1 ay 4x. And then times the differential dx. So dahil nag-multiply tayo ng 4 sa given, so para hindi mabago yung problem, ang gagawin natin, mag-multiply din tayo ng 1/4. So 1/4 times 4 equals 1. So itong problem na ito ay equal pa rin doon sa ating original problem. So meron na tayo ngayong integral of u to the n du. So pwede na natin ngayong i-apply yung formula. So, equal na ito ngayon sa 1/4 tapos 2x squared minus 1, and then 10 plus 1 is 11, and then divided by 11, and then plus the constant of integration c. So, we'll have 1 times 2x squared minus 1 raised to 11 equals 2x squared minus 1 raised to 11. And then 4 times 11 equals 44. And then plus the constant of integration c. So this is now the answer. Example number 2 tayo, integral of sine 3 theta d theta divided by square root of 1 minus cosine of 3 theta raised to 3. So, wala natin gagawin, na-identify muna natin alin ba yung u to the n. So, yung u to the n natin ay yung square root of 1 minus cosine 3 theta raised to 3. In exponent, equal ito sa... So, magkakaroon tayo ng integral of sine 3 theta d theta. So, in exponent, yung square root of 1 minus cosine 3 theta raised to 3 ay equal siya sa 1 minus cosine of 3 theta raised to 3 over 2. So, yung 1 minus cosine 3 theta raised to 3 over 2, ang gagawin natin ay nililipat natin sa numerator. Itataas natin siya. So pag tinaas natin, yung kanyang exponent ay magiging negative 3 over 2. So, magkakaroon tayo ngayon ng integral of 1 minus cosine of 3 theta raised to negative 3 over 2 and then times sine of 3 theta d theta. So ito yung ating u to the n. No? Yung derivative ng 1 minus cosine 3 theta, ang derivative ng 1 ay 0, at ang derivative ng cosine of 3 theta ay negative sine 3 theta times 3. So, negative times negative magiging positive sine 3 theta. So, ito yung ating magiging du. So, let u here be the base. 1 minus cosine of 3 theta. 1 minus cosine of 3 theta. So, pag nag-let u tayo, hindi kasama yung exponent. And then the derivative of 1 is 0. And then we have the negative sign, Derivative of cosine is negative sine of 3 theta. And then times the derivative of 3 theta in differential form is 3 d theta. So, negative times negative will become positive. So, the derivative of cosine is negative sine 3 theta. And then after that, we are going to solve sine 3 theta d theta in terms of du. So, we must multiply both sides by positive 1/3. So, 1/3 du now equals sine of 3 theta d theta. After that, we are going to write the problem in terms of u. So, the problem in terms of u, we have the integral sign, and then we have 1 minus cosine of 3 theta. But 1 minus cosine of 3 theta equals u. And then it is raised to negative 3 over 2. And then times sine of 3 theta d theta. But sine of 3 theta d theta equals 1/3 of du. So times 1/3 of du. Now 1/3 is constant. We may write it before the integral sign. So I will have 1/3 integral of u raised to negative 3 over 2 du. So we can now apply the general power rule. Integral of u to the n du equals u to the n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 plus c. So we add 1 to the exponent. So this is equal to 1/3. Negative 3 over 2 plus 1 is negative 1/2. So I will have u raised to negative 1/2 divided by negative 1/2. And then plus c. And then 1/3 divided by negative 1/2 is negative 2/3. And then after that, we substitute back the value of u. But u is equal to 1 minus cosine of 3 theta. So negative 2/3 times, or negative 2/3 times 1 minus cosine of 3 theta raised to negative 1/2. And then plus c. And this is now our answer. Okay, next, let us have a shortcut solution to the problem. So we know now that 1 minus cosine of 3 theta raised to negative 3 over 2 is our u to the n. Now what is the derivative of 1 minus cosine of 3 theta? So the derivative of 1 is 0. The derivative of cosine is negative sine. So negative times negative will become positive. Sine 3 theta times the derivative of 3 theta, which is 3d theta. No? So kung meron tayong kompletong derivative dito sa integrand ng 1 minus cosine 3 theta, ay magiging integrable na siya by power rule. So dito, ang kulang lang ay positive 3. No, 3 sine 3 theta, yun yung kompletong derivative ng 1 minus cosine of 3 theta. So dahil walang 3, ang gagawin natin ay magmumultiply tayo ng 3 para makumpleto yung derivative ng 1 minus cosine of 3 theta. So 1 minus cosine of 3 theta raised to negative 3 over 2. So yung kumpletong derivative nitong 1 minus cosine 3 theta ay 3 sine 3 theta d theta. So dahil nagmultiply tayo ng 3 sa integrand para makumpleto yung derivative ng 1 minus cosine 3 theta, ang gagawin natin ay neutralize natin yung 3 na yan by multiplying also the problem by 1/3. So you see, 1/3 times 3 is 1. Kaya yung problem na ito ay equal din sa ating original problem. So it is now integral of u to the n du. So pwede na ngayon ito ma-integrate at ito ay equal sa 1/3. So u to the n plus 1. So negative 3 over 2 plus 1 is negative 1/2. So 1 minus cosine of 3 theta raised to negative 1/2 divided by negative 1/2 plus c. Carry on, 1/3 divided by negative 1/2 is negative 2/3. And then times 1 minus cosine of 3 theta raised to negative 1/2 plus c is the answer. No? Next, example number 3, we have integral of e raised to 1 over y cube root of 2 e raised to 1 over y plus 3 dy divided by y squared. So una, i-identify muna natin yung u to the n. At yung u to the n ay yung cube root of 2 e raised to 1 over y plus 3. Ang gagawin natin, ililipat natin ito sa exponent. So this is equal to the integral of 2 and then times e raised to 1 over y and then plus 3 and then cube root means raised to 1/3. Raised to 1/3 and then we have e raised to 1 over y dy divided by y squared. So yung u natin ay yung base 2 e raised to 1 over y plus 3 at yung n natin ay 1/3. So let u now be equal to the base, no? So pag nag-let u tayo, hindi kasama yung exponent, ano? So 2 times e raised to 1 over y and then plus 3. So the derivative in differential form du equals to, so derivative of e raised to u equals e raised to u du. So the derivative of e raised to 1 over y equals e raised to 1 over y times the derivative of 1 over y, and that's negative 1 over y squared, and then times the derivative of y in differential form dy. The derivative of 3 is 0. Okay, so after that we are going to solve e raised to 1 over y dy divided by y squared in terms of du. Kaya we need to multiply both sides by negative 1/2. So, negative 1/2 du equals e raised to 1 over y times dy, and then divided by y squared. Okay, so after that, we are going to write the problem in terms of u. So we have the integral sign. And then we have 2e raised to 1 over y plus 3. But we let that equal to u. It is raised to 1/3. And then this term, e raised to 1 over y dy divided by y squared, you see it is equal to negative 1/2 du. So, negative 1/2 du. Now, negative 1/2 is constant. Pwede natin siyang ilabas ng integral sign. Yan, kakaroon tayo ng negative 1/2 integral of u raised to 1/3 du. And then we may now apply the general power rule for integration. So, magiging equal siya sa negative 1/2 u raised to 1/3. 1/3 plus 1 is 4 over 3. So, u raised to 4 over 3 divided by 4 over 3. And then plus c. Now, negative 1/2 divided by 4 over 3 equals negative 1/2 times 3/4. And that's negative 3 over 8. And then yung u natin ay equal sa 2 times e raised to 1 over y plus 3. So, papalitan natin yung u na yon ng 2. And then e raised to 1 over y. And then plus 3. And then raised to 4 over 3. And then plus c. And this is now our answer. Example number 4. We have integral of ln squared of square root of t dt divided by t. Sa una, i-identify muna natin kung alin ba yung ating u raised to n. At ang u raised to n natin ay yung ln of square root of t squared. So, equal din ito sa integral of ln of square root of t squared dt divided by t. So, yung ln of square root of t, yun yung ating u. At yung n natin ay yung 2. So, let u equals ln of square root of t. So, the derivative of ln of u is du over u. So, the derivative, du. So, du over u, yung ating formula, no? Derivative of ln of u equals du over u. So, yung u natin ay square root of t. At ang derivative niya ay 1/2 t raised to negative 1/2. So, divided by u. So, yung u natin ay yung square root of t. And then, times the derivative of t in differential form, dt. And then after that, we are going to solve dt over t in terms of du. Kaya we need to multiply both sides by 2. So, I will have 2 du equals. So, yung t raised to negative 1/2, pag binaba natin, magkakaroon tayo ng t raised to 1/2 or square root of t. So, square root of t times square root of t equals t. Kaya we will have dt divided by t. So, 2 du equals dt over t. So, after that, susulat natin ngayon yung problem natin sa u, in terms of u. So, we have the integral sign. And then we have ln of square root of t. But we let that equal to u. And then raised to 2. And then we have dt over t. And dt over t equals 2 du. So, times 2 du. Now, 2 is constant. We can place it before the integral sign. Yeah, we'll have 2 integral of u squared du. Tapos now, we may now apply the general power rule. Then, this is equal to 2 u raised to 3 over 3 and then plus c. After that, we are going to substitute back the value of u. Yeah, we will have 2/3. So, yung u equals siya sa ln of square root of t. Ln of square root of t. Raised to 3. And then, plus the constant of integration c. So, this is now the answer. Example number 5. Integral of dx divided by 1 plus x squared times square root of arc tangent of x. Sa una, i-identify muna natin yung ating u to the n. At yung u to the n natin ay yung square root of arc tangent of x. Sa exponent, yung arc tangent of x ay equal din sa arc tangent of x raised to 1/2. So, dahil sa denominator siya, ang gagawin natin, lilipat natin sa numerator. So, pag nilipat natin sa numerator, yung arc tangent of x raised to 1/2, magiging negative 1/2 yung kanyang exponent. So, arc tangent of x raised to negative 1/2. Tapos meron tayong dx divided by 1 plus x squared. So, dx divided by 1 plus x squared. So, dito, let u, no, equals arc tangent of x, yung base. Arc tangent of x. So, ang derivative ng arc tangent of x ay dx, derivative ng x, divided by 1 plus x squared. 1 plus x squared. So, in terms of u, no, meron tayong integral sign. Tapos, yung arc tangent of x equals siya sa u. Tapos, raised to negative 1/2. Tapos, yung dx divided by 1 plus x squared equals siya sa du. So, times du. So, integrable na ito. Using the power rule, we simply add 1 to the exponent. So, we will have u raised to 1/2 divided by 1/2 and then plus c. Kaya rin babalik natin yung value ng u. Ang u ay arc tangent of x. So 1/2, 1 divided by 1/2 is 2. Tapos yung u, papalitan natin ng arc tangent of x. So arc tangent of x raised to 1/2 or square root, no? And then plus c. So the answer is 2 arc tangent of x plus c.